Good afternoon from Canada. It's Carol Ann. Okay, I have a story for you today that came out of my memories of those days way back in the days in Liberia before there were no smartphone, no nothing like that. Do you remember those little tiny something, small something in the dirt, in the ground? And if you get in your foot, you better mind, because it will, first of all, it will make you want to scratch your foot like nothing else. And then also, if you don't take time and you don't pick that jigger out of your foot, it will lay its eggs there in a sack. It will make a small white sack, lay its eggs. Then the eggs will hatch, and you will have so many jigger in your foot, you won't know how to think straight. In fact, that's true. Some of those children, they will come to school, you could tell they were walking funny with their toes up in the air. My father would say, "Oh, look at that guy there, he got jigger," or he will not be able to learn book. It was true. Sooner they pick his jigger, he was fine. It wasn't just the itching, but it was the poison, the toxic poison that those things were putting in his system. I had a fear of jigger because of that. And whenever I got my own jigger, I went straight to my sister, or my sister Gina. She was very, very good at picking jigger. If you got jigger in your foot, go to her, because she will take it out very carefully. You won't even know what she's doing. They called it jigger, but in Basel, they would call it Di-soh. That's what I think. That's how I remember they would call it Di-soh. Now you can imagine, for me, the big surprise I had as a child when one day my father said, this small empty house just on the top of the airport, at the top of the airport, he said, I was wondering what to do with that little house. It's good because now we have a house ready for a Di-soh. I said, what? Did I misunderstand what he said? So I listened. I didn't say anything. I was a child at the table listening. Yeah, they were talking about the Di-soh, and we're going to live inside our house. In fact, you give kerosene to your lamp, and you give gasoline to the motorcycle, and they were talking about giving Di-soh fuel to this Di-soh. I didn't understand a thing. But now you know what was going on. The airplane came. My father had lots of good, strong men to come and help him. They carried this big, huge engine from the airplane to the small house where it was going to live. And my father put some electric light bulbs in our house. I didn't know what these small glass bulbs were. And all the wires. What? I didn't understand what was going on. But he started that noisy engine, and the lights came on. So I have one more story because of that noisy engine. One day, the airplane came and brought one lady who was a very, very new missionary. She had just arrived from Germany, and her name was Ruth Dietrich. She had just arrived. And the pilot brought her to us. She had come to visit us because we had some German-speaking nurses on our mission. After the plane landed, everybody said how do, and all the rest, and everybody went back to their work, and the lady was there. And she thought, what? Where everybody go? I think I would just take a walk and explore. She didn't tell us she was going off. She went down the side of the airport. She went all the way to the bottom of the airport. When she reached the end of the airport, the path kept going because there was one river, the Doe River was down there. And she kept going on the river. She kept going on the path. And then another thing she didn't realize, because she was still new to Liberia, when it's time for the sun to go down, it can go down. One day, one moment is bright, the sun is there, the next moment is gone. Not so in Canada. We live further away from the equator. When you're close to the equator, then it's daytime or it's nighttime, nothing in between. Darkness caught the lady. She was there walking on the path. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know if she was on the path, or she didn't know if she was in the bush now. She thought, what? What am I going to do now? You know, on that path, they had these long pieces of skinny grass. We used to call them sword grass. Because if you touch it, it will cut you. It will cut you just like a razor blade. Sword grass. That poor lady, all of a sudden, she heard the Di-soh start up. Yeah. And she said, oh, I never hear a machine like that anywhere except on the mission. The mission must be there. Oh. So she cut through. She didn't think about snake, and she didn't think about sword grass. Oh. Thank God she didn't meet any snake on the path. But the sword grass cut her this way, cut her that way, cut her that way, cut her this way. When she got it, she was a mess. She was a mess. The poor lady. But she was so happy to see us. We hadn't even missed her. She was so happy to see us safe and sound back. She didn't show any kind of upset. Oh, anyway, that's my story time for today. Oh. Y'all have a good night, okay? And when you go to sleep, don't dream about sawgrass. Don't dream about giant Di-soh. Most of all, if you have a beautiful little child in your house, entrusted to your care, make sure they are learning their vocabulary and that they know what is what with life. Good night.